Welcome to Content with a Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, Gaby Rendon, and I bring you SEO strategies, productivity tips, business hacks, authentic entrepreneurship truth, and inspirational stories from other moms in business that can help you figure out the next chapter of your life, whether it's starting your dream business or finding purpose in your current lifestyle. You can find me as Content with a Purpose on any social media or as Gaby Rendon in LinkedIn. And without any delay, let's do this! Today I have a very special guest. She's a wonderful person. She has a very interesting story, and she transitions from being a teacher and now is an entrepreneur. Well, I want to welcome Janice Villoro, and without any delay, Janice, welcome to the All Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Gabriela, so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to share a little bit of my story.
Can you share with us a little bit what did you used to do before starting your new business? What was your life before motherhood and all that journey?
Sure. Yes. So before motherhood, I was, very young, very young.
You're still very
Um,
young.
yes, yes. So I was just out of or really not out of, I was still into my undergraduate degree
Mm-hmm.
before motherhood. Um I was going for a different career choice than being a teacher. I was actually going for business management and finance as my
Oh dear Lord,
undergrad. Yes.
finance. Okay, that's a tough
Yes.
one.
It is. It was very, very tough. I am a not first generation, a second generation Latina. So I was very, brought up very old school with my parents and grandparents. Well, really my grandpa, um, working, outside of the home. And then the mom, my grandma, she was in the home taking care of the kids. So I grew up with her. She actually raised me, and my mom, who was born in the United States, as the first generation, she went to schooling. She did all her schooling in New York City, where we were from. Um, you know, spoke only English to us, me and my siblings in the household. She did all the work at home. She mostly worked in pharmacies for
Mhm.
most of her life, like, but she didn't graduate high school. She
Okay.
was, yes, she was in her last year of high school when she got pregnant of me. So she was like a few months before graduation. um, so for her, she had a very difficult life. She had to move out from her parents' home.
Okay.
They were very strict, like my grandpa. So
Mhm.
she had to actually drop out of high school a few months before graduation so that she can be able to get a job and afford an apartment with myself as a small one, and my dad at the time. So I watched her like struggle really through the pharmacies, the careers that she had with
Mhm.
no GED. And even though she had been there for many, many years, she watched other people coming in who were younger than her, um, and had the degrees and the education, but they would get all the benefits or the higher pay because they were educated and she wasn't. So I watched a lot of like her bosses treat her this way, and her being, kind of unhappy about that, but she almost felt stuck. I felt because she didn't have her high school diploma at that time.
Okay. And
Um,
that influenced you somehow on how you
yes,
were. Let's say like Latinas we are. Um, that modifies the behavior, like how you see life. Like, well, maybe
yes,
that's all that we have right now. That maybe that's how life is.
right, exactly, absolutely. That made a big impression on me. I think that just watching her being unhappy like most of her adult time, I really wanted to kind of not go that same route that she did, and I wanted to be my own boss. Like,
Mhm.
so that's why I went into college, wanting to have a degree in some type of entrepreneurship. So I chose business management and finance. But that was a roller coaster ride. Um,
Why? So it
it
was just like too tough, or like you have to fight your way in?
Um, it was for me, my personality type, I've always been very introverted, very shy, like I didn't speak much. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of felt, and that was all belief in my mind,
Mm-hmm.
that I was not cut out for the business world. That's what
Okay.
I felt. So, I felt like my personality, I wouldn't make it in the business world and I wouldn't be successful. Um, and after 5 years with that degree and working in that field, I actually decided, I want to try something different, have a different career. And that's how I actually got into teaching. Because in my head, I was thinking, I'm not cut out for this. This is for somebody else. It's not me. As much as I
Okay.
wanted to make an impact right in the world. And that's actually how I got into teaching, which was a completely different career choice, and it had a lot of ups and downs.
Okay, but why teaching? From all the careers, why
Right.
teaching?
Right. Yes. When I was like early 20s,
Mhm.
I was in church and I used to do Sunday school teaching for smaller
Ah,
kids.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got
So
it.
I had other people telling me, I see you as a teacher, even though I didn't see it myself in myself.
Mm.
So at the back of my mind, I guess I was planting a seed of, oh, maybe this is something for me that I'm not seeing myself.
Okay.
So during that 5-year transition from that business management and finance career, I actually tried out substitute teaching in one of those jobs. And I
Mhm.
absolutely loved teaching the kids. And just it was very rewarding
Mhm.
seeing how much they learned, and just them being so young and being curious. And it was just very rewarding for me. So I fell in love with it.
So
Um,
they feel your energy every single day. So little
yes.
kiddos, right? They're just like everything's the little spark of joy everywhere, and glitter and confetti and glue and everything. But
Right.
like, but yes, but it is so very interesting how you moved from finance to teaching. Was there any moment in that part from finance to teaching, and all your family experience that said, you know something, I actually found my call, or what were you still in that part of discovery?
Um, at the very beginning, I would say the first 3 years of teaching,
Mhm.
before those 3 year before that 3-year mark, I thought I had found my calling. I really,
Okay.
really, really thought. Um, but again, it all comes back to each individual person and their own personality.
Mhm.
For me, I was that A-type personality and I was a perfectionist. So
Okay.
if you just imagine, being a teacher, the first few years, it's very, very, very tough mentally, physically. There's a lot of stress. And I was a bilingual teacher, which was very different than a general teacher.
Yeah,
I was,
is the what, the ESL, right? English as second
it's
language or just bilingual?
No, it's bilingual. It's a
Bilingual.
little bit different because you're
Okay.
actually using the native language in bilingual, whereas ESL, you're only speaking English, teaching
Okay.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was teaching them, all of the subjects in their native language, but also teaching them English. So it was a lot of different things going on. Um,
It was like
and
double teaching. Like you have to repeat everything in
it
Spanish,
was
English, and I guess it was in Spanish. So everything in. Oh wow, that's a lot.
it was very, very difficult. I was the only bilingual teacher in the whole grade level as well. So I was like on my own. Like even if other teachers collaborated with me, I always ended up having to rework everything also because my students, some of them had just come into the country, some of them
Oh.
had, yes, it was like a lot of different dynamics. Some of them were
And
born in
you're
the
in New
US.
Jersey, right? Or
I'm in
wait,
New
this was
Jersey.
or this was in New York.
I'm in New Jersey, but I was teaching in New York City.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, because that's where I got my degree in from my graduate degree.
Mhm.
But during that stage, I actually moved to New Jersey
Mhm.
while I was in grad school. So
Yes.
yeah, so I didn't want to do that whole changing of the credits because a lot of the credits didn't transfer over. So I just decided to stay. It was a lot.
It,
Yeah.
it's so complicated, all this transferring credits. So tell me, this is like very, very interesting. So okay, you didn't find your goal. You were like they throw you out to the sharks, do by yourself, bilingual. You have to do all the work by yourself. You have a lot of help, but in the end, you were trying to reinvent the wheel. So because there was no
Yes.
one there, you was trying to figure it out, and
Yes.
that must have been very hard on you and your health because that amount of stress, the body takes a toll
Yes.
in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. That's actually how my health deteriorated. The first 4 years, I had gained over 60 pounds. Over 60 pounds. Yes, I
And
had
you have
gained,
kids because I blame all my pants to my children. Like, you are to blame because I'm fat. That's because
right?
of you, not me, not my cupcakes. That's them, not me. So
Oh my goodness.
what did you
So
have to
funny.
blame for?
No, actually, when I started teaching, I had my first two kids and I never had any health issues. Like I gained a lot. I gained over 75 pounds for each of my first two pregnancies, but I always lost the weight back with no issue. Like because I worked at it. Yes.
Ah, that's a
No,
blessing
no.
because
So it
I
wasn't
had the babies, the first one 45 pounds, and then the second one 50 pounds, and there they stuck. The 90
right.
pounds, they're there. Like, interesting. Okay.
Yes. So no, that I prior to teaching, never had any health struggles. My family, I watched them have a lot of health struggles. That's actually how I transitioned into wanting to become a health coach, as
Okay.
well. But no, the teaching really took a toll on my health. I gained 60 pounds the first 4 years. And I was depressed. I had depressive mood swings. I had anxiety that I never had before in my life. I had always been anemic since I was an adolescent, but the the symptoms from the anemia, they like blew up completely with all of this chronic stress. What else?
I love it. Quantic stress. I'm going to put it on the title. How to get rid of quantic stress. Wow.
No. Oh no, chronic
Ah,
stress.
chronic. It's like
Chronic stress.
quantic stress.
No.
No, that's the other, like chronic stress. Okay.
No, yes, yes. Um, so yes, my health completely like turned upside down in that first 4 years.
Hmm.
And then it wasn't, it was in the fifth year where I decided, me and my husband decided we were gonna have another child. Yes.
I
That
can't even,
was
I'm just counting the pounds per child.
right. Yes. And at that point, I was already overweight. I was unhealthy at that time. So I added on with that pregnancy, I added on about 65 pounds more. So that was about 120 plus pounds that I was already at that point. Um,
My God. And
yes.
at least in our culture, it doesn't help our food, our traditional food, and from Latin America, it doesn't help.
No,
The
absolutely.
plantains, the fry, the tacos, it it doesn't help.
No, absolutely not. No, no, no.
The amount of salt we eat also is impressive, which is so
Yes.
delicious, but it doesn't help.
Right.
I have to, I have to be truthful, and the
Right.
beans and the
Right.
beef, and oh my God, there's so much.
Yes. Yes. So that's a little bit I didn't mention about my grandma, watching my grandma because she raised me until I was 12 years old, from newborn
Mhm.
to 12 years old. Um, I was the first grandchild born. And when my mom was working after, not graduating from high school, my mom took me to my grandma. She was my babysitter. So they tell me that my grandma just fell in love with me, and she didn't want to give me back up to my mom.
But I think that all the grandmothers in Latin American, and maybe but I cannot say for other grandmas because I only know Latin American moms, Latinas abuelas. So I guess that's they are. You go to work, don't worry, I'll take care of the child. That's what we're here for. And
Right,
uh, God forbid that your mother trying to say something because abuela overrules whatever the mom says. Like because it happened to me too. My mom went to work, and I was raised by Mama Carmen and half of my life too. So
right,
it is quite a very Latina tradition to have the grandmother always there with us, for good
right,
or worse. But anyway,
right. And it's funny because my grandma had 6 children. My mom was one of them. But they say that my grandma actually spoiled me or treated me better than she did her own children, which is like,
that's good.
yeah.
But what happened with those 125 pounds? Didn't she tell you, hey, stop it?
No, nobody told me what happened with those 125 pounds. Let me go back into
I
my
look at you and there's nothing there.
no.
Nothing. Like your Photoshop. No.
No, it's been a roller coaster ride. But it's been 6 years since I've lost all of that and kept that off. But like really in my 5th year of teaching, when we had my third daughter,
Hmm.
um, I went into a maternity leave. That
Hmm.
was when about a month before she was born. I went into a maternity leave, and for teachers in New York City, they usually give you up to about 4 years for you to either continue, like extend the maternity leave, or to decide whether you want to come back, whatever you want to do. They give you up to 4 years, up to the child
Okay.
is in pre-K,
Okay.
in New York City.
But that's only
So
for one child. You had three, so there will be 12 years.
no, no,
Like that. No, doesn't work like that. Okay.
no, it doesn't work like that. Um, so for me, I decided to continue extending my maternity leave
Mhm.
because I needed to focus on my health. Like my little one was very small. My kids needed me. My health was very important to me.
Mhm.
And in that first year, that's when I decided I needed to do something for me, myself. And I went into research mode because at that point I was diagnosed pre-diabetic as well. That was one of the health struggles that I had. Pre-diabetic. I've never struggled before
So,
that.
so that was your health scare. Not only the 125 pounds, when they told you, hey, if you don't put your stuff together, you're going to get into the bad side of diabetes, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely. And me watching my grandmother, she had everything in under the books, under the sun. She had diabetes, arthritis, cholesterol, high blood pressure, like everything. And she was on medication for everything. So
And they carry on top like everything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So me watching her, living with her at such a young age, nursing her and watching her go through all of these things, that made an impression on me health-wise that I cannot go the same route that she went as well.
Okay.
So I actually made a promise to myself. I remember when I was young that I wouldn't allow myself to get to where she was. And here I was, 120 pounds overweight, right at the place where she was at that time. Pre-diabetes, headed down that route. So that was my wake-up call. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that was my wake-up call.
But
And
and that you went in full research mode. Like you have to put your stuff together. You have to put your life. You have three children. You know that you want to do something with your life. You know that you don't. You know what you don't want, right?
exactly,
But you didn't
yes.
know what you were looking. At that moment, you said, "Yes, I'm going to be a health coach, and I'm going to be." No, you didn't know at that
No,
moment. Okay.
no, no, not at that moment. I went into research mode. I've always liked to research
Mhm.
things and like very studious. As a teacher, I think that's a characteristic that most of us have. Like we like reading and learning. So I've always been that way. And I use those same skills to learn and find out what were some things that I could do that I did not have to be on medication, because I know I was going the route of injecting insulin like my grandmother was doing.
Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
you were really into the insulin side of the diabetes, like not even medicines, not even
Yes.
pills. My dad is diabetic, so he takes the medicine, not the
Mm-hmm.
insulin, but the ones before. But you know, the cupcake before going to sleep, the merienda, he never says no to that one, even though we hide the food. He
Oh
still
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So okay, so you were still in that moment that you were not absolutely hooked on all the medicines. So you were
No, no,
like,
no.
this is my last moment to actually make a change in your habits, in your health, on everything.
Yes, no, I never got to the place of like insulin or any medication at
Okay.
all. It
Okay.
was my grandma who was on all of those things, and I told myself I was not gonna go there.
Okay.
So, yes,
See,
so that's why I went into researching and finding out what are some ways I could naturally lose this weight without going on medication, because I wasn't gonna do that for myself. So I had learned so many things that I've never even heard of in my entire life. One of those things was gut health. Gut health at that time, that was what, 6 or so years ago. Gut health was, no one knew anything about gut health. Now you hear it everywhere. You hear like, oh,
the
take
probiotics and all that.
exactly.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yes, yes. Um, so I was learning so many different things, and I decided, what all of those things I was learning, I was implementing. I was implementing. I wasn't just learning and like thinking, okay, maybe let me try this. No, I was implementing those things I was learning. And the weight started coming off. Naturally the mood swings started going
And you
down.
did by yourself. You didn't go to you didn't hire anybody. You didn't say, I'm going to go to the, I don't know, the YMCA or the gym to do this. And no, you just like,
No.
I can do this. I
No,
got this.
yes, yes, yes. One of the things that I did find help was when I was finding out all about the gut health, I started with a company that was an expert in gut health with gut health supplementation.
Okay.
Yes, so those supplements really, they completely transformed everything for me. Like from the depression, I was feeling happy again, something that in my teaching I wasn't experiencing at that time. The weight started coming off like within the first 2 weeks. Something that I have been struggling with for so long, a lot of the things started reversing.
Hmm.
And this was very life changing. And I decided I'm going to go, I'm going to share this information, because there's so many people out here that have never heard about this before in their lives. They don't know what this is. This is really the root of all like, what's his name? Socrates, he said it himself. He said all disease begins in the gut. So if you
Oh,
look
okay.
Socrates up,
Okay.
yes, if you look him up, you're going to find he spoke a lot about this. Um and there's three, from a lot of the things that I've learned, there's three um big contributing factors of disease, and it is blood sugar instability, inflammation, and gut health. Those three things are the
So,
foundation, the root of everything.
so gut health, blood,
And
sugar,
inflammation.
and inflammation. And inflammation in what sense?
Inflammation, like chronic inflammation in the body from so many things, the foods that we're eating that cause
Oh,
inflammation.
okay. Like I eat too much salt and then I get swollen because of water retention and things like that. Ah, okay.
Yes,
Got it.
yes.
I'm
So
learning so much from you. Wow. But at this moment, this is entire your story, so your life is so interesting. So at this moment, you still were not like, yeah, I'm going to make a business out of this. It was nothing in your mind. You were still like, I'm focusing on myself. I need to get my life back in shape. But at the same time, you wanted to help others.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Nothing like a
Absolutely.
businesswoman right now. So it was
No,
just
not
this.
yet.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. I just wanted to share this information. As a teacher, also, we're like always giving, 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 giving. So it was something ingrained in me, I guess, to
Okay.
just give. Um, so it really, like, to shorten up the story, it really took about 8 months to lose all of the weight naturally. I mean, I'm talking about, I'm not even exercising at this point. There's no exercise. There's not really a big change in my
Wait,
diet.
wait. 8 months. You lost 8 months in a hundred. No, wait. You lost 120 pounds in 8 months.
Well, I'm not gonna say 120 because when I started, I had already lost the pregnancy weight. So
Okay.
yes.
So
So it
well,
was six.
120 minus 40 because that's your average, and I'm looking at that. So you were like 80 pounds up,
It's yes, it was about 60 pounds, 60
60
pounds,
pounds up.
60 pounds. So yeah, it was about exactly where I had started when I was stuck in teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I was started at 185 after the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
185. That's where I was stuck. So that was 60 pounds.
And just by focusing on your gut.
Yes.
Now you actually
Just
pay attention to
focusing.
your gut feeling, huh?
Yes, right. Exactly. Yes, that comes from that also, that slogan of your gut feeling, because there's a lot of there's connection between the brain, the stomach, all of this is connected with stress, with depression. All of these things are connected, and it all comes back, a lot of it comes back from to the gut as well.
Okay.
Yes.
It's impressive. So you lost the weight. You said, I'm fantastic. And then what happened?
When I started sharing on social media, a lot of people, they were seeing my transformation. They
Mm-hmm.
were seeing a lot of the things I was speaking about, and they started asking questions like, "What are you doing?"
Okay.
A lot of people were coming to me for advice, like on their, their struggles with weight. So I started giving that, like, it was a
And
few months after.
that was your personal, sorry, that was your personal social media. You were just sharing it. Like,
Yes, my personal.
okay.
Yes, yes. So then after a few months of doing this, I decided, I think I need to look into this, to help coach other women, because it's crazy how they and myself were going through all of these things, all of these struggles, and we are taught in society about dieting and constantly being up and down and yo-yo
Mhm.
dieting, and
Yes.
it's really, there's so much information out there that also you don't even know what to believe. Like, what do you
Oh,
know if
no,
this is good?
absolutely.
Right, right. So I decided then, I need to do something with the business in this sense, because, like, how do you how do you guide, or how do you help others who are struggling, right? And in guiding them seeing the results that I've achieved as well,
Okay.
like, it's one of the ways when they see your results, they know that everything that you've done actually is going to help them as well. It's not just, oh, I've heard of this coach who've lost weight this way, and everybody else is doing the same thing. It's my personal experience, and they know that it helps, it works, and they have hope that even though they've struggled just like I did, it's possible for them.
Okay. So it actually, you started a business because people asked you for that.
Yes.
Kinda. Like, hey, can you
Yes.
teach me? Hey, can you teach me? Hey, how did you do it? So that's how you said, you know something? You started backwards. Like, you actually made a business because people ask you to do it.
Right. Yes. Right.
That is so interesting because I've been having this conversation with other moms, and they're like, oh, out of a need or out of an idea or something. But we usually go, where there's a problem, we go and make the business. And then we show it to the world and we try to say, hey, I have this, who wants it? But in your case, it was the other way around. You're like, hey, I want what you have. Or well, maybe
Right.
you don't have it because you don't have the weight. Like you set it off. So how can you? So it was absolutely backwards. That is so interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. And for me, I think it's interesting because I went the route of business at the beginning before
Mhm.
teaching.
Yes.
Um, And I told myself, I'm not the person for this. And,
Yes, you
you
mentioned
know,
you didn't like it.
right, right. I didn't think I was cut out for that.
Mhm.
Mostly because I wasn't the person who likes sales. Like that's what I've realized after
Okay.
years.
But you're not selling, well, you were not selling anything. You was giving advice.
Right, right. Yes. So it's funny how I've come like full circle,
Uh-huh.
and it wasn't planned out like that. So everything that I've had to go through in both careers, all of those skills I've learned, it actually has compounded into what I'm doing now, which is what I absolutely love. It's very interesting.
So you are combining the skills that you got at university, that you were looking for a degree, that you were trained for, and then life, motherhood, and lack of mentorship at teaching
Yes.
send you, and 100 pounds later, uh, they give you the opportunity to say, this is the path, and the experience to say, this is a path I really want to, or I am passionate about. And it can be because they're asking me to share what I'm doing, that can be a business.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That is so, so good. And what did your family said when, hey, I'm going to be now a coach. I'm not going to be a mom 100%, a stay-at-home mom, and I'm going to be a business mom right now.
Mm-hmm.
What happened over there?
Um, you said what did my followers say?
No, your family, your
Oh,
family.
my family.
Because we're Latinos, and
Oh
Latinos, like,
yeah.
well, something, you should stay at home, like
Yeah.
have kids. And when the kids go to college, maybe you can do something. But right now, let's see what
Yeah,
the family said.
no, actually, it was the opposite for my family.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the opposite. At the very beginning of the business, my family, a lot of my husband as well, he was working outside of the home. And I had lost my full-time teaching career income. So
mhm.
that income was gone. He really wasn't enjoying, or he thought this was like a hobby that I was doing. And he didn't see at the beginning.
Where
He
have I
didn't.
heard that one before?
Yes. Right? He wasn't thinking that this was serious, because at the very beginning there were a lot of struggles financially. There were a lot of struggles with me, um, having the imposter syndrome and not having like that background in sales as well. I really struggled at the beginning when it was time to really ask for the sale, because I was so used to giving all of the free information for all of this time. So when
Mhm.
it actually came time to ask for the sale, it was very gut wrenching for me. And it took me a long time. It took me several years to really be
But you have
comfortable.
all the skills. You went to school, you went to college to learn that.
Yeah, but I didn't like that aspect. That's why I actually decided to change the career, because I didn't like that aspect of sales. And it's interesting. It's interesting.
And how did you turn that feeling of, oh my God, I have to sell something, into, yes, I'm closing this deal? How did you do that?
Yes, it took several years. And also investing in different coaches, mindset coaches, and money
Mindset.
mindset coaches. Yes,
It is about changing your mindset.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolute 125%. It is your mindset.
So if a mom right now who is listening to you, she's just very hyped right now. Yes, I can do this because she should. If Janice was able to do that, I can do this. But I'm afraid. I think I'm not going to have the support. I think I'm not going to be able to go there and show my face on social media, because that's one of the things that I've heard from many of the moms I mentor also, and the clients I mentor. They're like, I love online businesses, but don't put my face on social media. I was one of them. I mentioned
Yes.
to them on social, like, why? I don't wear
Yes.
makeup on anything, and now I have to wear makeup, at least just to be less dead in this moment, like that.
Yeah.
So what would you tell them? Like, how did you, and you mentioned mindset, but
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of books about mindset, and yes, you can do it. And then you look at the mirror and then do the mirror exercise. And there's someone like, my mirror says, like, I'm not going to say back hi back to you. It's not today. So get out of here. My
Yeah.
mirror, he said, I don't want to see you today. So how did you do it? How did
Oh my
you do it?
gosh. It was one of the coaches that at that point I actually, well, yes, I was working with one of her monthly memberships at that point. She actually used to do she used to host live video challenges. And that's actually because, trust me, I've always been a very introverted, very shy person. So it was a struggle for me at the
You were in
beginning.
social media. You were out there showing your.
I
That takes
know, but it
courage. That takes courage from being like, hey, I'm round and I'm this slim.
yes.
You just show everything. You took away all that vulnerability. Like you let everybody see you and not that vulnerability like there. And you
Right.
tell me that you're shy and you're introvert? I don't believe it.
Yes,
I don't believe
yes, yes, I know. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Yeah, but it was it even today, going on live, every time I go on live, I start sweating. Like it's not something that it's going to like really fully go away, but
it.
you have to get out of your comfort zone. That's what I learned with that coach and doing the live video challenges. You have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge yourself to get out there, because if not, no one knows who you are. No one is going to find you for your services. Nobody's going to know that you have this business and this service that can help them. If your business is virtual, and even not virtual, like now everything is online, you have to put yourself out there, and the only way to do that is by getting uncomfortable. And if you can't do it on yourself, like I couldn't,
Yeah.
you have to invest and get help, because if not, you're not going to put yourself out there, and that's going to be the detriment of your of your business.
Hmm. So you really
Yeah.
need a business coach, a mindset coach. Would you say a business coach or a mindset coach? What works?
i've I've actually worked with different coaches throughout the years.
Okay.
Yes, and
So
that didn't. Mhm.
in a quick memory lane, tell me how many coaches were you through? Like business, mental, what was it?
um if I can count,
Okay, I'll help
I've
you count. Okay, you mentioned I'll count.
right now at this moment I'm working with two coaches.
Okay,
Two coaches. So that's two. When I first started, it was the one who was doing the live video challenges. That's another one. She was a business
okay,
coach.
that's a business coach.
Yes. Then I also worked with another one who was a mindset and business coach. She also specialized in neurology, like the brain itself. She had a
Okay,
background in that. So she was
okay,
very, and she was
mindset.
very,
Okay,
yes. And she also helped with me develop the the money mindset struggles that I was having with not knowing my worth, not wanting to sell. So if I can think, that's about four so far. I'm trying to think if there was another one. There possibly was, but it was at least four.
you have grown so much. So you started with looking at your mom that raising you and you're working in the pharmacy and looking at her how she was not giving the opportunities because she didn't finish high school. You went to you went to college, not only high school, college, and then you saw your grandmother with all that health, and then you all have that health issues yourself, and then you start saying, well, I have to do something for myself, and I couldn't by myself. So you did things for yourself on the health part by yourself because you are very
Right.
good at it. But then when you have to do something else, that's when you ask for help. And I think in my mind, that is your game changer because there's a moment in the said you realize, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm reading it wrong, when
Mm-hmm.
you looked at yourself and all the things that we're doing and said, this is as far as I can get with the skills and the training that I have.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Do
And
you
that, mhm.
think, I'm going to follow the question, I look like a teacher now. Do you think that uh, that could be one of the um, things that stop entrepreneurs or moms to say, okay, I can get all the way up to here. And there's fear to say, have, if I hire someone, I know that they're going to push me to actually succeed. And doing that quantum leap
Mm-hmm.
to the next step, that's what fear is. To
Yes.
say, actually, I'm going to be successful. Actually, I'm going to do this. Actually, I'm actually going to be heck good. So
Yes.
that is that little piece that that coach is going to help you to
Right.
succeed. But we are, because we're all that like, no, you know something, I can say I'm good. I'm going to go slowly until I
Mm-hmm.
get, but you don't get that final step, like trying to go to the pool and you don't like, ah, but it does here. I'm fine, thank you. So am I reading it correctly?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. Like Latinas, like not just Latinas, just colored people, I think we and women in general, like I think that we see asking for help as a weakness because we're so used to,
Hmm.
yes, we're so used to being superwoman and giving to everyone. Then when it's time for somebody else to help us, we don't want to accept it. That's what I think the thing is up here. um and that it took me years, like again, it took me years for me to tell myself I need help from someone else because if I don't do it, my business is not going to be a business. Like I'm going to have to give up this dream that I have. So it took me years. But that's one of the secrets that I've learned myself as a coach. And that's also what I teach. I teach something that's I call the trifecta of success. And one of those, it's like a cake that you're baking, right? It's a recipe that you need to have. If you're missing one of those ingredients, you cannot get a successful recipe at the end. And one of those ingredients has to be investing in someone else as a coach, as a mentor, as a guide. If you're missing that, you cannot get to that successful recipe. That's what I've learned, and that's what I
Okay.
teach as well as a coach.
Now that you're saying that you're teaching, tell us all about your health coaching program, because you have given us so much to try to assimilate, and the inspiration to see, well, I actually want to change. And now I'm a little bit, okay, I have 85 pounds on. So and now I have to get into it. And after listening to you, I know I have to do it. I cannot I can't keep on blaming my kids for my weight, because it's not good, right? But it's fun, but it's not good. So
Right.
tell us, what is your business about exactly? What did you do?
So I am a holistic nutrition weight loss coach. I'm not just a general weight loss coach because that's also been a process to get to holistic nutrition and weight loss coach. I help women who are on their healthy lifestyle or weight loss journey and they're feeling stuck, they're not seeing the results that they want to see even though they've tried dieting, they have tried probably surgeries even, right? They've tried different things. So I help them I to help them get them stuck, stay consistent because the sustainability there is also another issue that many people, even though they'll lose the weight, they will gain it back after a few years. I help them make it a lifestyle that's sustainable and get to those goals that they're looking for. um so that's what I do, but the mindset piece is a big part of what I teach. It's not just the physical or the nutrition and the exercise because the mindset part is really 80% of the success.
Oh,
Tony, yes, the
oh,
mindset
so
is huge.
so all the things that I have today, like I'm not going to eat carbs today, and I'm so stressed, and I literally, well, I'm gluten free anyway, so I
Yes,
could do
okay.
that. Yes, I'm gluten free, but guess what? I found the chicharrones. It's a very good thing. Instead of eating bread, I eat chicharrones or eat tortillas. Like I think that was not so. Mindset is 80% of the journey.
Yes.
That will be your foundation.
Yes.
And how do you do that? Is it online? Is it you have a workshop? You do Pilates with them? Walk a little bit, walk us through your process to let us know.
Okay. So everything is online. It's
Okay.
virtual. I don't have a brick and mortar. So I have different services. I don't have just one.
Hmm.
So it depends on what each person is really in need of, that I kind of customize a package that's for them. So basically I have different strategies that I teach. That are lifestyle strategies and skills. So, for example, meal planning and meal prepping. That's one thing that has been a part of my journey that I teach them how to do because, again, if you are, we're eating, we have to eat in order to live, right? That's not, we have to. So, if you want to lose weight and maintain weight, it's almost like a formula that you have to have with the right amount of proteins, carbs, fats, and your micronutrients as well that's coming from your vegetable intake and your water intake as well. So it's almost a formula that you have to have. So I teach with planning your meals, how to eat in that way on a consistent basis to not only lose weight, but keep it off. And if you're looking to build muscle as well, that's all a part, whatever your goals are. So I teach different skills like that. That's one of them. Mindset is in there as well. So depending
Did
on
you
the
have,
service,
sorry, did you have family management? Because that sounds great when you're single
I
or
know.
when your kids are off to college. But when you
Right.
have kids running everywhere, or you're a carpool mom and you have to go and do the cupcakes and the baking sales, and they get you the PTO moment and in the morning, and they just handle your beautiful scones freshly baked by one of the moms, and you can't say no. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
This was so much love. They
Right.
did them for you, so you can't say no to them.
Yes.
How did you do that? How did you handle that?
Yes.
See my
Yes.
troubles. But
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm
So
projecting
no.
things here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's really not about dieting because if you are looking at, okay, I have to restrict myself, I can't have those cupcakes. That's a diet. Like what I teach is anti-dieting. There's going to
Okay.
be days where you are going to like eat different things outside of your plan. Like that's going to
Okay.
happen. This is life that we're living. But for the most part, 80% consistency in, you know, eating for the weight loss, the weight maintenance, whatever your goals are, 80% of the time, whole foods and clean foods as well. That's what's gonna make the difference. So there's a lot of people who teach out there, okay, I need to eat a certain amount of calories per day. It's calories is only a portion of that. There's something missing, which is not the amount, the quantity of the calories, but the quality of the calories. Like what are the calories, right?
Okay.
Um, for example, the ingredients that you're using to cook, like your foods. For example, the oils that most of us use, inflammatory oils, like the vegetable, the canola, all of those little things are going to cause inflammation, weight gain. So if we just swap out those small ingredients, you can have any recipe that is, it looks like it's junk food, but it's really not, because you're going to change up those recipes with the ingredients that you use that are anti-inflammatory. So
Wow. So,
that's going to, yes,
but that is just mind blowing because we listen we hear at all these health gurus that you have to go almost minimal calorie intake and a lot of exercise because it's all about the math. Like, okay,
right,
it's all about the math, and yes, less intake, more exercise, you burn calories, you're
right.
actually going to do that, and then you feel very bad, and then you jojo because actually the cheat day, they have cheating day,
Mm-hmm.
that would just splurge everything and you eat everything you didn't do in the entire week. And that's
Right,
how we end up like this.
right.
You're telling me that you have a very special formula that has helped you because I can see it. I can
Mm-hmm.
see you. That has tell you that, and that's what you're teaching your clients. And it's
Yes.
not only for single moms or working moms or maybe career women. It's for everybody, for every or
Yeah.
every women.
Yes. Mostly I've been working with career driven women who
Mhm.
are busy in their careers, and also entrepreneur moms who are also
Okay.
busy in their careers. So yes, that's who I've mostly been marketing to, but I work with all moms, if that's,
Okay.
there's no like restrictions or anything like that.
Okay. Well, we in PTO moms are we're very fun to
Yeah.
let me tell you that. We're fun. And so that is amazing. And like, wow, we just talked, it's so much about talking about it. I'm so happy. I'm so,
Yeah.
so happy. So what would be the most important lessons you learned about running your business while raising a family? Because that's exactly what I want to inspire others, not only on your health journey, that wow, you really got rid of all those pounds and you figured out how to have a business. But what were the most important lessons that you learned throughout all this journey?
Yes, there's been so many lessons, a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges.
Mm.
So I had to go through all of those things in order to learn the lessons. The first biggest lesson is really to try. At the beginning is going to be hard, but try to run your business like a CEO in managing your time, in terms of breaking it up into business hours and family hours.
Okay.
Because if your family, if you aren't prioritizing family time, your business is going to suffer, because always going to be a battle between you spending too much time on the business and not enough on the family. And that happened to me for a few
Okay.
years at the
Okay.
beginning. So that's definitely something that has been a process for me to learn and to really kind of do it like a well-oiled machine. So like right now, I have my husband taking care of my smallest one, she's 6 years old, but she's
Okay.
very active.
Okay.
Um, so during a specific time during the day, we've come up with a plan where he's gonna stay with her while I work different business activities during that time.
Okay.
So that's definitely one major lesson for me, and one piece of advice that I would give. um what's something else? I think,
You
what was
mentioned the
something?
coaches. You really
Oh,
need to ask
yes.
for help. So it's time
Yes.
management. You have to get a coach. What would we say about your family? You're mentioning right now that your husband at the beginning said he was a hobby. It was a hobby, but right now he's actually helping you to take care of the kiddo, so you can actually focus on this part of the business, which I'm very thankful actually because
Yes. Right.
not everybody does that. Okay, and what else? What about how would you uh advise the moms that are there watching us? How did you find your why? Because for you it was a very unique. If there was some kind of hints, if there was some kind of, hey, this is your wake up call on the business side, not on your health side, but on the business side.
Hmm.
Yes, actually, this is it. This is you feel it in your gut. You feel it in your guts that, that this is the business that you want to do.
Yes. So how do I find
Yes.
my why?
Uh-huh.
That is actually another one of the secrets that took me years to learn, and something that I also teach in my coaching.
Hmm.
If your why has to be strong enough that you wake up every day knowing that you have difficult life circumstances going on, that life is going to throw every single thing that you can think of and that you couldn't think of, is going to throw it at you. But if your why is not strong enough, you have to dig underneath and do some inner work. That's what I've had to learn. If you don't have a strong enough why, there's a quote out there that says, if your why isn't strong enough, your excuses will be. That's one
Oh,
quote.
okay.
Yes,
That's
yes,
perfect. I love it.
yes, yes. So think of, if you are on a boat,
Hmm.
right? Um, and you know the destination that you want to get to, right? You want to get to that destination.
Mhm.
Um, but it is a beautiful place. You know that it's a beautiful place. If you know there's going to be a lot of storms that are going to come throughout, to get to that destination. But if you don't have a roadmap, right? Your vision is your roadmap. It is the engine that drives everything. It is the fire that is lit under you. If it's not strong enough, you are not going to get to that destination, no matter how much you want it, no matter what, because life is going to throw, there's going to be so many storms coming at you. um it has to be that strong. If it's not, you can't get there. Your success at that business won't happen if you don't learn and dig up under. It's really inner work that has to happen to find that vision. Yes, that's a big secret.
Okay, that is impressive. And thank you so much, Mal. We're really about to be an hour. Wow. It just
Oh my
tastes like
gosh.
water, just super fun. Thank you so much, Janice, for being here
Absolutely.
with us and for sharing your story. It was such nice, enjoyable story and relatable to many moms out there, like the weight loss, the struggles, the why, the fears, the should I do it, should I not do it? Oh my gosh, who's going to take care of the kiddos? It was so much insight and so much inspiration. Thank you.
Yes, thank
And
you.
where can they contact you? How can they reach out to you?
For now, I'm mostly on Facebook. I have a cooking show page where I do a cooking show. For now, that's where I'm mostly on.
What is the name?
It is Healthy Living with Janice. It is Healthy Living with Janice. If you type that out on Facebook, you
Okay.
will find me there.
You're going to be
Healthy
cooking for
Living.
us. We're going to be
Yes.
yummy. Okay.
Yes.
And if somebody wants for you to, are you going to have any kind of challenges where people can start learning about you? And you know these 30 days challenges where everybody gets in and let's take at least 1 pound off without putting it back. Are you going to do anything like that?
Oh yes, I do. I've been doing that for some time. So interesting story. My Facebook accounts were disabled at the beginning of January. So I had to start everything from scratch. So yes. So I had Facebook groups where I was doing the challenges in.
Mhm.
So all of that was shut down. But right now I'm relaunching a Facebook group in late June where I'm gonna
Okay.
be hosting a lot of different challenges. I'm gonna have training, guest speakers are gonna be there. A lot of
You
great
have a
things.
website?
It's under construction right now,
Okay.
but yes, you can
Oh,
find it.
good.
Yes, you can find it. And there's actually a free 3-day meal plan that you can get there if you sign up on the website.
What is
It's
the what is the domain? Where can we find you? If we Google
it's
it.
yes, janicevilorio.com.
Janice Villorio, but that's simple. JaniceVillorio.com. We just
Yes.
go and meal prep. How is that? How will that work? Just the recipes.
Yes, you'll get the recipes with the
Okay.
grocery list just for those 3 days, just to get a little snapshot of clean recipes that you can follow and take that guesswork of what's for dinner this today. Take
Okay.
out some of that stress for those 3 days.
Well, that is amazing. So now you hear everybody that's listening to us and watching us, and go to JaniceVillorio.com, sign up for those 3 days meal plan, and later on you're going to hire her because she's amazing. And also if you want to learn how to cook delicious, you go to Facebook Healthy Living with Janice also. And wow, it has been amazing, and thank you so much again, Janice. And friends, and Gaby Rendon, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for staying with us for almost an
Yes.
hour. This has been so much fun. You can
Thank
find
you
me
so
as
much.
Content with a Purpose on any social media or as Gaby Rendon in LinkedIn. And thank you so much.
Thank you
And
so,
good
so
night.
much.